Adam, what's going on, man? I'm going to give you a video response this week based off your report. Just some general comments about the report. Uh, in general, I love the level of detail, probably a little bit too much detail, actually, for what we're going to be using on a week-to-week basis. Try to keep it to, I don't know, around 3 paragraphs plus some questions on top of that. And as far as the video goes, around 5 minutes of video, and that should be enough for us to take a look at, get some good information, not overwhelm each other as far as the level of detail goes, and allow me to be able to respond thoroughly to everything that you're sending over. And if you have questions throughout the week, you can of course throw those in as well. But I think that's going to be about the level of detail we're going over. So we don't have to break things down necessarily session by session, but kind of picking out a few things from a few different exercises about how the week is going, we'll be right on course. And I know going early on, we're going to have a little bit more questions as we start to settle into the program and get some of the nice details going out. So before I launch into your actual report, I'm just going to take a look over at the Excel spreadsheet and just note a few things that you've been doing very well as far as tracking macros go. That looks perfect. What I'd like to do is just run these macros for 1 week more, and if everything looks good and if we're kind of maintaining the same general trend here, I'm going to go ahead and raise macros a little bit, probably about 20 carbs on your normal days and probably another 20 on your refeed days. I think generally that's what we're going to look for, is just a lean gain. So just a few things to fill out. Make sure that you start thinking about some process-oriented goals to put on that first page, and those are totally for you and by you. The technique page is for both of us to add to, so I'll be adding some things into that page as well. You'll be adding some things to that page depending on maybe things that I say in response to some videos. The notes and planner is also something you and I both add to. Mobility is something both you and I add to. And training is generally what you add to, almost exclusively. Yeah, I mean, generally it's going to take a little bit to establish those working weights. So about 2 weeks to figure out what your working weights are at the start for those specific exercises in your program. Because you may or may not have been doing them, so that stuff may fluctuate with time. Now, getting into the meat of your program here, yep, nutrition looks really well. I'm kind of going to go paragraph by paragraph here, and this is kind of par for the course for what we're really looking for. That ensures that I won't be missing any pieces of your program, as we go along. So, I like the fact that you might be switching to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. That's what I run in the gym as well. And with the layout of your workouts, I think that's going to give you the most recovery where you need it. So I like that. Good. So yeah, gauging RPE is something that is going to take a while to get used to. And even if you have been working with it or know what it was in the past before we started, it's something that does take some getting used to, up to 6 months to a year to fully be able to articulate what your RPE was on a given set. So try to give yourself that little benefit of the doubt that sometimes you're going to go over and overshoot, sometimes you're going to undershoot, and we just have to kind of roll with the little waves of figuring that out. So that's all par for the course. Good. So yeah, if you feel your grip is getting close to failing, run with it. And if you feel like on a specific day that you really have more in your body than you do in your grip, you can throw in a pair of straps or something like that, and grip will improve over time. And if we feel like we need to specialize on grip, it's not going to be a problem at all to add some grip work at the end of your workout. So that's not going to be a problem at all. I took a look at the video of the slow negative bench. That looks great. I really like the tempo of that. I like the control. That's exactly why we're using the exercise. So I'm glad that we're getting out of it what I'd like to. Session 2. It's not really necessary to do the pause squats beltless, although if you feel like it, you can. I think personally that that you're going to get plenty of ab activation and core activation using a belt anyways, pushing out against the belt, and it's not really necessary. But if you feel like it, go for it. It's not going to harm things one way or the other. And I trust you as far as what you feel like you need on mobility. So if you feel like you need some more in the hamstrings and hips, go for it. And I've got some stuff that we can use for that if you don't have any ideas. But it seems like you already do. I'd love to get some footage of the band bell presses if we haven't seen them. So sorry to hear that one of your bands snapped. The ones I have that work are about an inch wide, and they're called light bands. But of course, if you get them from some other website, they're probably called something else. But same idea, and just set them up like that video I sent you before. So maybe hang a 24 to 36 kilo kettlebell on each side, and I think that'll be about right. Okay, session 3. As far as the grip goes, that's really going to be fine. I think it's going to even itself out and not really something we have to worry about. But if you feel like it is, essentially all we'll be doing is either a weighted hold with a barbell in your hand with a double overhand grip, or a weighted hang, again with a double overhand grip where you hang some weight from you, and both of those are excellent for building grip strength. And if that's still not enough, we can add some farmer's walks to that as well. Okay, good there. And I'd love to see the widened grip from the front, or maybe even from an angle on the bench press, so we can take a look at how that's going. Obviously, of course, I trust your word on all these things. You don't have to give me video to confirm that. But yeah, I mean, look, with any new routine, it's going to take a while to settle in things. We've got 18 weeks to kind of roll through this and get used to things and get you progressing. So the few bumps in the road early on will settle out in short time, I think. Okay. Session 1, week 2. Looking good here. If you overshoot the RPE, base the back offsets off what you think your top set should have been. So for instance, if I did a set of squats at a 525, I overshot. I only got 2 reps when I was supposed to get 3 reps, so I based my back offsets off what I should have thought my top set would be, so maybe 505, and then take 5% off of that, or whatever the fatigue percent is. So that way you're doing back off work based off of your capacities for that day, and not still, digging a further hole in the ground. Yeah, take care of those calluses, because I opened one up too, and it's really not comfortable. But hopefully that'll heal up soon, and super glue actually is a great thing to use. You can just super glue that closed. As far as angles to film from, I like a nice variety of side, 45 degrees, and back, so it's not really specific that we get video from specific angles. I'm open to a lot of different things. I just kind of want to talk myself through this video view. The squats look great. I like the motion there. I have a feeling that your ankles are still a little bit tight, because I can see those heels slightly coming off the ground, even in Olympic shoes. So we know that the bar path can kind of smooth out if you end up working on that mobility a little bit. Lots of squats here. They all look great, so it's nice that you've refined this movement over time, and really there's going to be very little to correct over time as far as the squat goes. Very much liking the bench press as well. I just want to make sure that your thumb is fully around the bar. I can't quite see from this angle, so you probably know better than I do. And of course you probably overshot the RPE. It's a brand new exercise. That's perfectly understandable. Skipping through to the very end, the deadlifts. Awesome. Yep. Technique is really kind of going to be in the rearview mirror as something we have to focus on. In other athletes, this ends up being kind of a higher priority, but for you, we're just going to be able to grind and push some awesome stuff. So I'm very, very much excited for what's coming forward. Excellent job, by the way. Okay. As far as low bar squatting, I liked your low bar squat too, and I have a feeling that if we just kind of greased that groove a little bit and made it something more refined like your high bar is now, that you'd be pushing some good weight. Essentially, it's going to boil down to what's the most comfortable for you and what you're able to push the most weight in. So it's really tough to say, but we'll experiment with both. But eventually, I'd like to settle on one that we can just run with for a while. Okay. So I addressed technique pages for both of us, about the report itself, about the front and back photos. That's perfect. And yeah. Let's just keep the reports rolling, but I like what I see, and let me know if you have any questions. All right, man? Take care.